So now the industry. So we've gone through the journey. We talked about, okay, what is food? Well, first of all, the people, right? What do we eat? We talked about what is the food supply chain. Now we got to know the actual industry because there's levels to this. So the industry in itself, they comprise it into two different pieces, right? There's a commercial food service, then there's the non-commercial. Again, I assume that a majority of you guys probably fall into commercial, but I'll take a poll at the end of this to figure that out. So what does it mean to be commercial? Commercial basically means it comprises operations whose primary business is food and beverage. And then it's non-commercial, food service establishments is where food and beverages are served, but not the primary business. So commercial food service is the primary entity within the food sector with approximately 863 billion in sales. That was 2019. 2020, we're forecasted to do 899, but COVID, so who knows what that number is going to look like. The non-commercial food environments comprise about 10% of the US food service sector, right? And the restaurant industry alone employs 15.7 million people, right? Roughly 13% of the workforce. There's a lot of people. I mean, my first job out of in high school actually was at Carl's Jr. Right? I don't know if you guys are familiar with Carl's Jr., but you know, I think everyone's like that's like the rite of passage is you go to a restaurant and you work and that's where you get your try to find your groove and your independence and love Carl's Jr. It was a great time. I learned a lot and it helped me with my customer service skills. So again, the restaurant industry employs a lot of people, and we're seeing some of that effects with COVID. So another important piece to discuss, right, within the industry is more than 48% of the food we consume is eaten away from home. We don't like to cook. I don't. So, at either a commercial food service establishment, which is an example, a restaurant, or in a non-commercial food service environment. For every dollar that's typically earned by a commercial food service vendor, 34 cents goes to wages, 26 cents are spent on physical inputs, like food products, and 26 cents are spent on transportation, trade, labor. There's so many pieces moving to what does a dollar mean, and we're gonna look into that when we get to food costs.